team. I want to thank you personally from myself and from Revival Way Ministries for the impact that you've had on our life and this ministry and how God is using us to reach Generation Z. We've been blessed and graced to go into middle schools, into high schools, into colleges, to do outdoor crusades in parks, and to even host big events with other supernatural relationships, to see many people brought into the kingdom of God. I believe because we've sat under your anointing and under Revival Today Ministries that we've received great impartation, and we're eternally grateful for it. The impact that you've had on our life has actually helped us to reach over 200 million people on different social media platforms, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, you name it, we've reached people on it because of being able to sit under the impartation of Brother Jonathan and Sister Adalis. So we're eternally grateful for you. I believe this is just the beginning, that God has taken us up higher, and I believe God has put us on the earth for a specific time to reach this generation with the fire of revival. So thank you again for the impact that you've had on my life personally and the impact that you've had on this ministry. We genuinely could not do it without you. Thank you again, and we love you from Revival Way Ministry.
Hello everybody, I've got some exciting news. We are in the process of launching a faith-based credit union, and so we'd like to welcome you to fill out a survey that is going to be used in the application process. You can go to revivaltoday.com/credit union and fill that out. And thanks ahead of time for filling it out and being a part of this great journey in the world of finance.
This is Jonathan Shuttlesworth. The prayer that Jesus left us with was to pray for laborers to go out into the harvest field. If there's one thing this last school shooting showed us, if there was ever a time that America needed a new generation of workers in the harvest field, it's now. That's why we're raising up those ministers and workers at Revival Today Bible Institute. Our inaugural class is this September. If you've been moved recently in your spirit, that I want to do something to affect my generation for eternity, this is the place to come and get trained. We start this September. You can apply today at revivaltodaybibleinstitute.com. I want you to join this army that God's raising up. The devil's not going to write the last chapter of your generation. You and many others are going to get raised up in the power of the Holy Spirit, go forth with the Word of God, and take one more run with the gospel of Jesus Christ. Will you join us? Apply today, revivaltodaybibleinstitute.com, and I'll see you this fall.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Check the Market, Crypto Island Friday. We got the palm trees up today. It is moving.
Slightly
moving. Not the quick moving one of the last couple of days, but I like that one.
Everybody's so sick.
I like that one.
Everybody's like twitching. Their eyes are going crazy.
How's everybody doing? D&D Investments, Logan, Wayne, welcome. Ninja, Christophorus, Jolene, Amy, Ludi from Wasilla, Alaska.
Nice.
What time is it there? 6:20 in the morning? 5:20? 6:20 in the morning? Somewhere around there. Michael. Christophorus got his coffee brewing.
Jackie.
I've started making cold brew.
Have you?
Yes, and it's really good.
Is it actually?
It is.
Do you have like one of the big like machines, or do you have
No.
like the condensed
Just
version?
good old fashioned, a jug, coffee, and water. That's it.
No, that's it. Nice.
Yeah, I don't get all
for
the
you.
fancy
You don't get all
machinery.
fancy.
No, I was trying to find on YouTube a video that just does like the good old-fashioned one.
Yeah.
Barely find one. Every single one of
Really?
them, it's like, oh no, you got to buy this and you got to
Yeah.
buy this. Yeah,
Yeah, you don't need that.
no. I just like coffee, not into alchemy. You know what I mean? Gerald, how's it going? Pamela, Jake, Scott from Iowa. 5:15. It is 5:15. Man.
Nice.
Well, welcome. Leslie she likes cold brew too. Cold brew is good.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see what's going on in the world. What you
Check
got
it
for
out.
us?
The situation is more than dramatic. Germany is rationing hot water and turning off the lights to reduce natural gas consumption. Let's read it. For months, Germany has feared having to ration energy amid Russia's increasing willingness to turn off the tap. Now those fears are becoming a reality as Germany prepares for a return to 1970-style energy rationing when the OPEC oil embargo forced governments to mandate measures like dimmer lights and car-free Sundays. Only the energy crisis of 2022 isn't limited to oil. Last year, Germany relied on Russia for 55% of its natural gas imports. Germany has since been able to reduce that number to 35%, but with Russia seemingly prepared to further cut gas shipments to Europe, German officials are having to make some difficult choices. Patrick is smirking, everyone. This week, a city official in Hamburg, Germany's second largest city, warned that warm water could only be made available at certain times of the day in an emergency, forecasting the possibility of a severe natural gas shortage. And on Friday, residents of the eastern German state of Saxony were told by their housing association that they could take hot showers only between 4 a.m. and 8 a.m., 11 a.m. and 1 p.m., and 5 p.m. and 9 p.m. each day, the Financial Times reported. Continue. The situation is more than dramatic. Axel, take it away.
Gedashko.
There we go. A German politician and president of GDW, the Federal Association of German Housing, told the Financial Times. It isn't just hot water that's being rationed. In addition to shorter shower times, officials are asking city councils
What are we in
nationwide.
boarding school?
Yeah, basically. Everybody, children, obey your overlords. Well, this literally just keeps going on and following everything that we've been talking about previously. But I think it's interesting that they're talking about everything. They're basically following the blueprint for when they put in radical, like, we think green policy is radical now.
Yeah.
They're just prepping everybody. So, like, get used to the idea of having to ration your water, your energy, everything.
When I was growing up in Kenya during times of drought, the dams wouldn't be as full, and so they would ration energy. So there was like 2 years where there were certain days where we wouldn't have electricity,
Right.
and so we were always like looking forward to the time when we would go to Germany. We'd have electric every day. We all of these things. So it's not funny. It's
Interesting.
It's interesting that Kenya has more electricity now than Germany. They have a better grid and less rationing than Germany does. So
It's true.
congratulations, Green Party. Way to ruin
Screw
the country.
everything. Yeah. But it's interesting also that this is what California has been doing, like rationing water, everything. So, but they're doing it in light of green initiatives.
Yes.
Whereas everybody else is it's all because of Russia.
And if you look at a lot of the California things, it's because of legislation and regulation. It has nothing to do with like, oh, there wasn't enough snow or whatever. Because every year I look, I read articles about how the snow melt up in the mountains of California is like high enough to where there should be enough water.
Right.
But farmers aren't allowed to take water out of the rivers because then they could be hurting the fishies.
Exactly.
Yes, so
Yeah. They've
Insane.
survived this long,
it's insane.
They are insane. Next. Spain. Spanish farmers join Dutch and German farmers in solidarity against the globalist demands, which will destroy their livelihoods. No farmers, no food. Go for it. LA County is planning to instate an indoor masking mandate on July 29th. It would apply to all public indoor spaces. So they just keep it going. And there's a Miss Barbara up in the right-hand corner in all of her healthiness, you know, pushing for these mandates. She's alive. It's not just a dummy. She's alive and well. Not dead yet. Next.
Just in time for the election.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, perfect. Media team's on it. Breaking recall effort for LADA George Gascon passes first hurdle. LA County Register Recorder Office announces initial 5% random sampling of 35,793 petitions yielded 27,983 valid signatures, a 78% valid rate in all 715,000 petitions will now be verified. They'll need 79 to 80%. So this is yet another, we saw San Francisco's DA go down, who was a George Soros plant. Gascon over in LA is also a George Soros plant, and he could also be going down. So California's not done. God's not done with California. It's cool to see. Next. Despite claiming that France has little dependence on Russian gas, President Macron announced that public lighting would be turned off at night to save energy.
These people are losing their minds.
This is a very good article, incredibly long article, so we won't read it, but I encourage you guys to go to Summit News and read it. It's...
Way to go, Europe.
They're so dumb. These people are so dumb. Thankfully, the people of the nation see past it. So, next. New Fauci Wuhan grant was under FBI investigation. Go for it.
Hey everyone, Judicial Watch President Tom Fitton here with the latest on a big find by Judicial Watch. That is that the FBI had been investigating the Fauci agency grant that also involved the Wuhan Institute, and according to the documents that Judicial Watch also found through this Freedom of Information Act lawsuit, gain of function research. Now Fauci and his people have been telling us, oh, there's no gain of function research, there's nothing to worry about. Well, at least there was enough to worry about for the FBI to do an investigation. What dishonesty by Fauci and the NIH in hiding these documents from the American people for years that we forced out only thanks to a Freedom of Information Act lawsuit in federal court. The documents also show that they were worried about gain-of-function research in the Wuhan Institute as far back as 2016. Now, I don't know what the FBI is doing now, but I do know that there needs to be an investigation into the gain-of-function research funding by Fauci and his colleagues.
I was just thinking that, Michael. I was like, he probably goes in front of the camera and he's like, does this, ask hey, media team, does this look like I bench press 200 pounds? Guaranteed. Why can't you just sit there like this, or like this, or like that?
Can you see him doing that though? No, he needs to do the arm shot.
The Statue of David.
Yeah. Oh gosh, next. Oh, there we go.
Markets are open. Looking good today. Dow Jones up 469 points. S&P up 47. NASDAQ up 129. Oil back up to $98 a barrel. Gold down a little bit. Silver's up a little bit. Bitcoin 29.40. Ethereum 12.22, up 13%. Wow. BNB up 4.3. XRP up 7% today. Cardano up 4.83. Solana up 12%. And huge gains there today. Avalanche up 10%. The overall crypto market's up 6.3% today.
Nice.
So that's pretty good after yesterday. All right, let's see. What do we have? Jim Cramer. Watch GM stock, too cheap to ignore, tonight. So this was yesterday.
Crap.
So let's just make a note of this. with the majority, I'm just thinking, right? With the majority of the banks talking about, possible recession, economic downturn, whatever, usually that is not good for automotive stocks.
No, really?
Interest rates going up. People can't, yes, you're going to have to buy cars, but it's not going to. They'll probably hold off longer with interest rates. If you have to pay 8% on a car note, that's a pretty
deal.
penny. So I don't know if he's going to be right about this. We'll see. The Chevy lots that I drive by are full of vehicles. We'll see. Yes, Kenny says it. I'd listen to Cosmo Kramer about stocks before I listen to Jim Kramer. All right, next. Amazon slashes its private label selection, considers exiting business under regulatory pressure. Many private brand items report disappointing sales. So what Amazon does is, what they allegedly do is, if somebody's like has a good that they put on Amazon to sell, if that sells really well, let's say it's like a vegetable cutter or something like that, right? That sells really well. They came up with a design for it. They had it manufactured in China, whatever. They sell on Amazon. It's doing very well, has a ton of sales. What Amazon will do is Amazon will then create their own version of it, sell it for cheaper.
Right.
And if you search for vegetable cutter, whatever, I don't even know if that's a thing, on Amazon, they'll put it right at the top of the search results.
Yes.
So it'll be the first one that you see. But their private labels aren't doing as well as...
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And so I think this is just, I think this is good. Not for the stock, not for Amazon stock, obviously, but for all those people that sell their stuff on Amazon. Let's see it. Amazon has started drastically reducing the number of items it sells under its own brands, and the company has discussed the possibility of exiting the private label business entirely to alleviate regulatory pressure, according to people familiar with the matter. Amazon's private label business, with 243,000 products across 45 different house brands as of 2020, has been a source of controversy because it competes with other sellers on its platform. The decision to scale back the house brands resulted in partly from disappointing sales from many of the items. The people said it also came as the retail and technology giant has faced criticism in recent years from lawmakers and others that it sometimes gives advantages to its own brands, at the expense of products sold by other vendors on its site. Over the past 6 months, Amazon's leadership instructed its private label team to slash the list of items and not to reorder many of them. The people said executives discussed reducing its private label assortment in the US by well over half, one of them said. So that's good. Good for other sellers. Good for Amazon too. If they don't have, that many sales, the money is better used elsewhere. Next. The move was initiated after a review of the business by Dave Clark, a longtime Amazon executive who took over as head of its global consumer business in January 21. All right, we can go to the next one. Today is the last day of Google. Google will be trading before its 20-for-1 split goes into effect, and we actually have a video of that split. So we're going to be showing that to you now. This is how a stock split happens.
I've had my ups and downs, my fair share of bumpy roads and heavy winds.
Yes.
That's what made me what I am today.
Google stock.
Now I stand here before you. What you see is a body crafted to perfection.
A stock crafted to perfection.
A pair of legs engineered to defy the laws of
Cash
physics.
flow engineered to defy the laws
And a
of
mindset
physics.
to master the most epic of splits.
To dominate the world. Yes. Google split live right there. Boom. That's how it happens.
And who can say if your love grows as your heart shows only time?
An epic split happening Monday. Today's the last day that Google will be trading at the price that it's at. On Monday, when the market opens, it will have split 20-for-1. And that's slightly how it happens right there. Next, with inflation right 13-year-old asks, is this an Old Spice ad? Close. Close. With inflation rising and fears of recession, watch out for these 3 key numbers in company earnings reports. This earnings season arrives as investors and so on and so forth. People deciding where to invest their cash or whether to even do it at all. Have questions about the possibility of recession, how much inflation is squelching customer demand, and when prices could be cooling. Now that earnings season is about to start, they'll be getting corporate America's take on the answers. Starting this week and running through July, the country's publicly traded companies are scheduled to reveal their second quarter earnings and share their best guesses on what's in store for the future bottom lines. Shares for both banks were down Thursday after earnings missed estimates. Companies including Bank of America, Tesla, Netflix, American Express are slated to report next week. BlackRock missed their estimate. Citigroup did pretty well, I believe. This morning there was another bank that didn't do so well. Wells Fargo missed estimates as well. Citi isn't a big investment bank, so they're making money on higher interest rate because Citi has a ton of credit cards, and so they're making more money on the interest rates going up. The parade of profits, losses, and projections happen every quarter under U.S. rules. The number also offers a peek at the financial health of consumers and the broader economy. This time, earnings season is coinciding with a volatile bear market that's getting rocked by all sorts of questions. What to make of the... nobody's asking that question anymore. Or China's lockdown policy. Yes, there we go. That's a good one. And its supply chain implications. Where are oil prices going as Russia's Ukraine invasion grinds on? Continue? All right, let's take a look at what the 3 things are. This is a long article. Continue. Number 1, cash flow. This is actually pretty good. Investors in search of solid company data points in unclear times can start by looking at a company's cash on hand, said Michael Campos. Head of investing at Betterment, which offers financial services including robo-advisors. In the broadest sense, a company's free cash flow is the money still on hand from its operating activities after subtracting capital expenditures. While some metrics can give company earnings a rosier hue, Campos said the free cash flow is a good way to gain more signal from noise right now about a company's capacity to operate. Speaking of assets and obligations, it's worth considering the debts a company is carrying. Very important, I would say. I don't think that's something that should be glossed over. Like consumers, companies loaded with debt face more challenges when interest rates climb. After 3 interest rate increases already this year, the Federal Reserve sounds poised to keep going. There's actually talks out there of a 1% increase. But now a lot of people are saying that they don't think that the U.S. economy would be able to handle a 1% increase.
What do you think? So.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to hurt companies. It's going to hurt the stock market. But that's, it needs to get cooled down.
Yeah.
Inflation.
At some point, yeah.
But the majority of it is because of energy. So it doesn't even matter. Like raising interest rates at this point, looking at it it's whatever.
Yeah.
Because if energy doesn't go down, we're going to keep seeing inflation, or inflation is going to remain at the levels that it's at because it's going to cost more to produce everything. Mm-hmm. Literally everything.
Yeah.
Plastics. The basic world runs on plastics. Plastics, oil, energy, gas for vehicles, gas for trucks, gas for tractors.
Yep, everything.
Everything.
You can't get away from it.
No. Next. Number 2, profit margin. Investors will also want to know how companies are managing expenses. between inflating prices and wages to hold workers in a tight labor market, Campos said. They can find the answers in the talk of profit margins. The net profit margin is important to watch because it indicates how well companies are handling higher costs, said John Butters, FactSet Vice President and Senior Earnings Analyst. With inflation running at some of the highest levels in 40 years, companies are facing increased costs. As costs have increased in recent months, many companies have increased their prices to maintain their margins and earnings. The net profit margin shows the amount of earnings a company creates for every dollar of revenue it generates. Continue. Earnings guidance. Companies are not required to provide forward-looking guidance on what to expect for future earnings and revenue, but experts say it can be instructive when they do. Butters is always watching for guidance to see how it stacks against analyst estimates and previous guidance. That's especially so this time, Butters said, when the earnings guidance is important because it'll provide more clarity on economic conditions given the uncertainty in the market. So yes, earnings guidance is important, but earnings guidance has lost me a lot of money. Because a stock, when I'm trading options, especially if I trade it on earnings, which I don't do a lot of anymore, because a lot of times what happens is they'll beat their earnings estimates and they report, aftermarket in the evening. Their stock pops 10%, whatever it is, right? I'm making money. I go to sleep happy.
Yeah.
Then I wake up
Oh.
and they release their earnings guidance. And it's, well, we did have a great quarter, but next quarter we're looking at some losses, things like that, and the
Right.
stock tanks. So within a couple of hours, you go from
On a high to a real low.
So yeah, that's those are 3 things to watch for. 3 things to take a look at in this market. Next.
Yeah.
Jim Cramer, June 14th, 2022. Oil is not going down. Oil minus 26% since. It is, the more I watch this, the more I watch him, I think I'm going to start, putting money aside. Some play money aside to trade.
Just based off of his
Just
predictions.
based on his recommendations,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
do the opposite.
Do the opposite.
Yes, and see over a span of a month how much money I can make doing that.
Watch everything just go like this. Dang. Yeah.
It is like he knows.
Every
That's why
time.
I put the GM thing up, because I'm interested to see what General Motors does now. You should see the tweets underneath it. It's like, no, I hold this stock. Please stop.
Stop it.
Stop tweeting. All right, next.
So funny.
I'm gonna get you. Oh yeah. I don't know how, but I'm gonna get you. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Logan asks, do you think he knows he's a joke? He does, because he gets defensive sometimes. Like, he'll tweet out, to all the haters out there, like that, if he hits one of them or something like that. Analyst sees 45% rally, recommends buying Twitter ahead of Musk's legal battle. So here's an analyst that says that it's not going to go Musk's way, that it's going to go Twitter's way, and Musk is going to be forced to buy. Basically. Let's see it. Can you find out if GM was what? Go back up. Can you find out if GM is working with another company, Pilot? Like the gas station company Pilot? The highway rest stop Pilot? I'll take a look into it. Possible partnership for electric charging stations. I like the idea that NIO has the battery as a service where they switch out the battery in 3 minutes. Then you don't have to worry about chargers. And it'll create jobs.
Yeah, it's true.
because they're talking about all these like green energy jobs, right? If you have a gas station, it'd basically be like a full service gas station for electric vehicles, where you drive in, you've got some mechanics there, electric vehicle mechanics or whatever, that replace the battery. Yeah.
Yeah. Way better.
So I think that's a great idea that NIO is coming up. Speaking of NIO, I don't know, I looked at this company. We actually have some news coming out of China. People are refusing to pay mortgages and stuff, so I don't know how that's going to affect NIO. It's probably going to affect the Chinese stock market some more. But yeah, we'll get into that here in a second. Actually, let's pull up that article real quick. So basically saying that Elon Musk is going to lose it's just one analyst that says it, though. A judge was chosen for that lawsuit too, and I guess that judge is pretty strict. So we'll see what happens there. It's definitely interesting what's going on. There's always drama surrounding Elon Musk. China property market shudders as buyers threaten to stop mortgage payments. Bank shares and developers' bonds sink. Investors' hopes of a near-term housing recovery fade. So China's housing is getting hit even more. Let's see it. This week, a movement among frustrated homeowners who have threatened to stop paying their mortgages on unfinished homes quickly gathered steam on Chinese social media. People all over the country declared that they would do the same if developers don't fulfill promises to deliver apartments that were earlier pre-sold. Shares of some large Chinese banks fell Thursday, led by declines in China Merchants Bank, which declined 3.7%. Several lenders released statements saying they have limited exposure to property projects where construction has been delayed and that the risks from mortgage defaults are small and manageable. The shares and US dollar bonds of many developers also dropped, sending their debt securities to deeply distressed levels. Some investors described a wave of indiscriminate selling that has dragged down the bonds of even financially stronger Chinese companies with investment-grade credit ratings. It's like a fire sale now, said Kenny Chung, executive director and portfolio manager, fixed income hedge fund manager at Astera Capital Partners. Wow, that's serious. You're going to fit all that on a business card. Referring to the sell-off in developers' bonds, he said investors have lost almost all confidence in the entire China property sector, as home sales have shown few signs of recovery and the overall economy faces significant growth hurdles. So that is one of the risks that you see if you're investing in Chinese stocks. It's the Chinese government and then, things like that where, they just built like crazy and tons of debt, things like that. It's just, it's crazy what's going on in the Chinese property sector. Is that going to affect the other sectors? Possibly if there's regulation there, it could affect the other sectors as well. So keep that in mind, as you send me some of these Chinese stocks to research and things like that. That is one of the biggest reasons why I stay away from Chinese stocks. It's just the unpredictability. There's companies that aren't or countries that aren't as wealthy and well off as China, that have more unstable governments that I think are better to invest in than China. All right. Oh, we're getting short on time here. Let's see what else we got real quick. Yes. Yes. What the imminent Alphabet stock split means for investors. If you invest in Alphabet, it means that next week you're going to have some more shares. 20 for every 1 share of Google that you own now. All right, next. Go all in. Yep, exactly. Relatable.
You know that feeling all
I
too
do,
well.
yes, I do. I do. When my Robinhood account. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, mistakes are made. But it's more because you're gambling at that point.
Exactly.
You're going all in on something that you shouldn't. Best gold stock to invest in. Gold mining or gold? Because I hold paper gold stock GLD as the ticker symbol. GLD. Gold mining company. I'm not invested in any gold mining companies. You know what, Trinity? I'll look up some gold mining companies. I know that there's one called Ashanti Gold, but I don't know how well it's doing. And there's some gold mining companies in, you know what, let me see if I have them here in my notes. It's called Anglo Gold Ashanti, a gold mining company that operates in 10 different countries. They operate in the Democratic Republic of Congo, Ghana, Guinea, Mali, and Tanzania. AU is the ticker symbol for that one. So that's the one that I've researched before. But I'll give you some more companies. Can you lose money on acorns? Yes, you can. Depending on what mixture they have you, or what mixture you're invested on acorns. Last I checked, I don't know if they've made any changes, but last I checked, Acorns takes the change. So for every dollar you spend, say you buy a coffee for 50 cents. I know you can't, but you buy a coffee for 50 cents. And the difference between the 50 cents and the dollar is then invested in your Acorns account. So 50 cents goes into your Acorns account and they invest it for you. And you choose whether you want low, medium, or high risk. And depending on your risk, that's what, you know, the mutual funds that they put you in. And then you can watch your money grow from there. But yes, you can lose money on Acorns if the stock market goes down. Especially if you're invested in the more high risk ones. I mean, right now it's all of them. I believe that was in Uganda, Michael. I saw that there was that they found, I don't know if this is true or not, but I saw the articles where they said that they found gold worth $12 trillion in Uganda.
Really? That's cool.
I don't know how true that is, because that would have to be like a mountain. I have not heard of Ample, no. Ample. AMPLE. I'll take a look at it, Sandra. Yeah. No, I just saw that article. I think I saw it yesterday or the day before. I was scrolling through Twitter and I saw it, and I clicked on it and I read a couple of things, but I haven't looked into it to see if that was true or not. Yes, we will find out if Ample is an Ample investment. All right, everybody. If you'd like to invest in Revival today, we'll give you an opportunity to do that now. Here are the ways that you can do that. The best way is always revivaltoday.com/give, and it's got all the different ways that you can give. You can also give by cryptocurrencies. You can scan that QR code there. And Revival Today, P.O. Box 7, Prosperity, Pennsylvania, 15329. And then what are we going to do for an offer? Crypto Island. It is Crypto Island Friday. We didn't talk about crypto at all, except for prices. But yes, if you haven't got your Crypto Island shirt, I need to get a new one because mine's kind of faded. I wore it too much, washed it too many times.
Yeah.
So I need to get a new one.
Great shirt.
So if anybody else needs to get a new one, I'll send that to you as a thank you for investing in Revival today. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Make sure you share the broadcast. Oh, we never went over Nancy Pelosi. I don't want people to accuse me of clickbait.
Yeah.
So there we
gotta
go.
do it.
Breaking news. More Nancy Pelosi trades. Sold 50 Apple call options. Exercised 200 NVIDIA call options. And sold 10,000 shares of Visa. So there it is. Apple sold 50 call options with a strike price of 100 and an expiration date of 6/17/22. NVIDIA exercised 200 call options, 20,000 shares, expiring 6/17, strike price of 100. So that's $2 million for that one. And then Visa sold 10,000 shares of Visa. So there you have it. Nancy Pelosi at it again. So if you own Visa, sell Visa. Something's happening, I guess. And buy Apple and buy NVIDIA, I guess.
There you go.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great weekend. Make it out to our 40 Days of Glory. If you're anywhere within the region, you can drive out. If not, make it out for our Sunday service, 10 a.m. and then 7 p.m. And then we'll be back Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. next week. So make it out, and I'll see you here, or I'll see you on the other side of that lens next week. Go out there and make some money today.
P-Money friends and the CTM crew. Yes. Crypto Island, yeah, boy. Crypto Island, yeah, boy. Crypto Island, yeah, boy. We are the B.O.D. Yeah. Crypto Island, boy, yeah. Crypto Island, boy, yeah. Shout out to P-Money friends and the CTM crew. Gotta hear from the Island boys, yeah. Big shout out to y'all, man. Check the market.